was a very eventful weekend. From Whiskey to Davido to Simi,
Samklef, Adekunle.
That's Father Samklef own. That guy needs help.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't talk about someone's wife like that.
Wow.
Especially in those kind of terms. But, you know, but for me, one of the biggest stories had to do with social media comedian, influencer, presenter also. Great lady, I must say, Wofi, who just put up some wonderful videos of her engagement.
Yeah.
And then there was a traditional wedding almost immediately after. I know, wow, great guy, looks so good. And then we just saw a letterhead, we the Cole family of Victoria Island.
Wow.
And a whole family put up a public statement denouncing the marriage, saying that they were not part of it.
Wow.
And that they don't support it. A public statement. And then the guy comes up and says he actually posted on social media, he has found love and he's going to stick with his love.
Wow.
And so that question started going back and forth.
Powerful.
Would you get married to a man whose family don't like you? Or whose family don't approve of the wedding? Is that a red flag? Is that enough to say, I am not going to get married? Because, truth be told, it's not like many of in-laws like the opposite spouse shall.
But
so
at least they give their blessing.
Okay, yes.
So there is something deeply spiritual about getting the blessing of parents and family.
And family.
There's something deeply important to you as a person and how you are going to grow. Because in the end, you came from a place, and how they mentored you, how they taught you, how they raised you is part of you, right? And you are also going to have children who will need, you know, you will need support in that sense, mentally, spiritually, from them. Prayers coming down to help your family later on. Now, but we are, as Africans, we're deeply spiritual people. In the abroad, they will probably give a middle finger to it all, right? You know, and this is not to say that this is not a union that will thrive or flourish. That's not to say that. It's just to say that we as a people, culturally speaking, we really put a lot of importance on the blessing of the family. That's it. That's just it for me. I would prefer to have the blessing of the family, but there is something endearing and sweet about a guy saying, you know, he would leave his family, you know, give a middle finger to everybody else and stick with you.
Stick with you, yeah?
There is something deeply romantic about it, but when the romance,
when
the romance dies, what happens?
It seems like K-drama.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know. We need...
Wow, see, there are a lot of sides to this particular coin. It doesn't just have two sides, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always think about reasons why certain people's families say, okay, fine, we don't want this particular person. We do not consent to this marriage, right? We don't know. We know, okay, the family came out to say this, right? We don't know. They didn't give reasons why.
No, they did. They said the lady is 38, their son is 30, and she is pregnant, apparently.
Okay.
They put that in the statement. She's pregnant, apparently, so it seems like the boy was... I don't know, maybe he was...
Obligated.
Yeah.
He felt obligated.
Exactly, to get into the wedding, so that she's older, which I felt
wasn't
really
it's
a reason.
not a big enough reason.
Well, I don't know, but then, you know...
There are some people that also look into, I'm not saying this is the case, you know, there are some parts of the East where people in some parts of the East don't want to marry some other people from other parts of, you know, there's those other cultural differences. But then also, now families do a lot of investigations. They make calls, they check backgrounds, they go through history. And then speaking of backgrounds, we're also hearing some other, you know, there was also a lot of other talk on social media about him, the man in question, and how he was in school. I don't know who read those tweets.
Oh, yeah, so they were talking about him bullying and all that. So I think it was just an opportunity for some people because he was in the public eye to call him out. You know, but for me on this particular issue, I wanted to focus more on the marriage part. Maybe we'll get back to that part because you know, talking about the bullies and all that, we've seen many people call out bullies and well, as it were. You know, secondary school while we're growing up is very different from now, and that's why the Abuja case was there. You know, you shouldn't allow students beat their juniors. that is for school to do, you know. But back to this issue with this guy now, I would want to say, and I would agree with Titi, that yes, family is actually quite very important. Yeah. You know, but then at the end, it's you that's going to live inside the marriage with the person. And yes, there's not something of when a guy says, okay, to hell. But what if something happened and, in quotes, the guy's eyes open later on? Or, you know, as some people will say, and, you know, this is his family. As much as possible, you will try to get. But in a situation where probably she's pregnant and all that, and, you know, it seemed like they had to do this, you know, I don't know. I would go with the one that this is an adult. Yeah. And when it comes to an adult,
now,
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a totally full-grown adult, and he has the right to make decisions for himself, right? But I feel something that is also very important to note is that, I mean, this is 2024. We have a lot of baby mamas lying up and down. So to be honest, I think we're past that stage where we say, okay, fine, a baby or a lady being pregnant can actually hold a guy and make him, make that the main reason why she
was compelled to.
Yeah, compelled to get married to her. So I feel that's actually totally out of the question. So now, as Titi said before, I mean, it's one thing for a family to say, okay, you know what, we don't necessarily approve of this, but then again, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. Did you understand? It's now totally different when they now literally put their foot down. They're not literally now like put a statement publicly that, okay, fine, you know what, we are not even a party to this at all. And then another thing also that I think I would like to actually talk about is, I mean, fine, I understand Wofa is a public figure, one that's actually really, really loved by a lot, because a lot of people were talking about how the guy literally just collected her like that for football babe and all that. I think for me, it was actually just the bands that were actually really, really hilarious and all of that, right? But then again, I'm thinking, okay, now, you know there's a lot of this surrounding this particular circumstance, right? Was the idea or the decision to post about this particular thing, was it the right one? Do you understand?
Okay,
you know,
for
like
her,
for her to actually come and
think about it,
and all of that.
You know,
so
that
feels
very deep.
Yeah,
incidentally. So
very deep.
You know, on April 1st, right? Ali Baba put up a post that he had triplets. And everybody thought it was April Fool.
Yeah.
It was April Fool.
Wow.
Papa dedicated triplets this weekend.
Wow.
And the talk is that I mean, he's 59, the wife is 55, so the talk is that it's a surrogate. Triplets. So I was on somebody else's status, someone that was there. And I saw it to Alex. I said, this will be April Fool.
Yeah, because I actually saw that and I thought it was actually just messing around.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, see, and that is why I'm 1000% for me always. Personal, private life stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Benny, I keep it off.
Yeah.
That's another side to look at it. If you don't, because, you know, bringing your stuff out there as further, I mean, we're talking about it now because it's out there and all of that. I don't know if maybe because this was just after she posted.
Yes, that
maybe if she didn't post it,
maybe we wouldn't have gotten this.
Maybe, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that. But there's nothing wrong with
saying.
posting. There's nothing wrong with posting your achievements if you want to.
As someone who has a man that stood up for her.
Yeah, he actually did come up stand up for her. So I give them kudos for that.
Yeah,
and I wish them the best.
Definitely.
If they go ahead with this, I wish them the best.
I mean, and social media people, we should rest.
Exactly.
Know your matter. Rest in the name of the Lord.
Samklef,
what God cannot do does not exist in your life. Let's take a quick break. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know what you think.